Hey everybody, John Van Dyke for New Jersey Exposed. Today is Friday, March 12th, 2021. Time is 12:30 p.m. Jersey time. Boy, we're just doing a bunch of stories this morning, so the times are going to be all close to each other. And this one here, I'm just going to combine two stories because they're both related in crime. This one came out on March 10th, comes out of Louisville, Louisville, Kentucky, reported on WDRB.com. And it reads as follows. A third Louisville police officer sentenced for sexual abuse of a minor in Explorer program. Now, for those of you out there who don't know what the Explorer program is, if you're, say you're in high school and you want to be a cop or you have interest in being a police, a lot of these police departments have what they call the Police Explorer program set up so that you can go down there and they will let you hang around with them, maybe take you for a ride in the police car, and they give you a little shirt with a patch that says Police Explorer. And essentially, they're just trying to indoctrinate those who have an interest in being indoctrinated. So you'll have a police officer overseeing some young teens. Let's read the story. Here it is so you can see what it looks like, the page. And yes, I'll put that link in the description so you can go read it. It's on my Gunnison Undercover Facebook page if you want to read it there. A third Louisville Metro police officer has been convicted and sentenced for sexually abusing a minor while serving as a mentor in the department's Youth Explorer program. U.S. District Court Judge Rebecca Grady Jennings on Wednesday sentenced former Officer Brad Schulman to 6 months of home incarceration. I don't think he should get 6 months home. He should be in jail for 6 months. Home, yeah. That's like your parents send you to a room. You're being misbehaved, go to your room. Well, what's in my room? Everything that I enjoy doing. Maybe send him home and turn off his cable TV, take his cell phone away from him, take his internet away from him. Oh, now all of a sudden it get a little boring, huh? Schulman, in addition to Schulman, he will have to pay a $2,000 fine and register as a sex offender. Now, that's the hardest part of the whole sentence right there. He's now a registered sex offender. So he's going to have a big problem getting a job. Schulman, who resigned from the department last year, pleaded guilty in November to a misdemeanor charge of sexual abuse. The former officer was indicted November 3rd by a federal grand jury, admitted to subjected a juvenile female in Explorer program to sexual conduct at her home and other places in 2010. Now, that's just that one. Who else did he do this to? What other things did he do? It just doesn't start there. That's where he got caught. The victim, who listened to the hearing remotely, also spoke during his sentencing, calling Schulman a monster and a predator who has ruined her life. Schulman's family, however, said they do not question his character or integrity. Well, I do. He used his position to get a young child alone with him. And then if she tried to say anything, well, he's a police officer. He's a protection officer. He's out there protecting us. In this case, he was trying to protect himself. Schulman himself had been a participant in the now defunct Explorer program from 2002 until 2009, joined in January 2010. In January 2019, Jefferson Commonwealth Attorney's Office announced prosecutors would not seek charges against Schulman for allegedly sexually abusing a girl in the Explorer program. It's probably because the poor girl didn't want to have to go up and testify and be subjected to that. At the time, prosecutors said they sent a letter with the findings and their recommendation in the investigation of Schulman to the Louisville Public Corruption Civil Rights Task Force, which includes local and federal. The girl identified as BL, claimed in a federal lawsuit that Schulman abused her in his police cruiser and sought sexual pictures and acts from her. The lawsuit, which is pending, claims the teen told the parents to confront Schulman and met with the program's leader. And there's other officers involved in this. I'll put the link in the description. You can go read it. But essentially, there's a few officers who got involved here. I think one of them, I read through the whole story, went to prison. But, you know, the reoccurring, you know, I'm doing enough of these stories now. You folks are starting to see, along with me, the reoccurring themes that are popping up. Alcohol DUI is one of them. Domestic violence is one of them. And sexual predator is the other one. And then there's the more common one where they're beating people up during arrests and things like that. But I'm not going to include that in that because that's during the course of their job. This is something that they have a little issue on the outside, or not necessarily in the course of their duties, but something that they take advantage of while on duty. And this guy here, this creep here, has got this young teen girl in his police car, asking her to take pictures, and probably who knows what he was doing to himself while she was in the car. But this is one of the growing things going on with him. And thank goodness that we have social media to expose this. And I'll just tell you a real quick story. The other day I was at a function where I was interacting with some New Jersey State Police officers. Two of them had only been on the job for 4 years. The other one was a new recruit, only been on a couple months. But I got talking to one of them for a length of time, and it didn't take them long to figure out that I wasn't just the average Joe on the street, that I was somebody that knew something and had something to say, and eventually I exposed who I was, and he thought maybe he recognized the Gunnison undercover thing. But anyway, I got talking to him about what goes on in Monmouth County, about, you know, Monmouth County is like the capital of Blue Zero Heroes here in New Jersey. And I rambled off a few things to him. I said, do you know about these things? He goes, no, I never heard anything about it. Now, granted, he doesn't live in Monmouth County, but he lives in New Jersey, and this stuff is reported on NJ.com. It's how I find out a lot of it. He didn't know. And that's the problem. That's one of the many problems, that they don't know. And I told him, I said, this is your fellow officers doing this, and it's up to you to put a stop to it. And I said to him, I said, if you see a bad officer on the job doing something, you're going to stop him? He goes, absolutely. Well, saying it and doing it are two different things. But anyway, that's what I said. He was not aware of all this crap that goes on with cops. And I told him, I said, well, you need to start looking at the social media a little bit more, or going on YouTube and reading, or going on the web and start doing some searching and stuff, because this is going on all around us, and it's happening all the time. Every day there's a news story on the internet about some cop molesting a kid, stalking a kid, got child porn, which brings me to the next story. Let me bring it up. Give me a second, folks. Okay. So I posted both these stories are on my Gunnison Undercover Facebook page, and this one comes out of Poplar Bluff, Missouri. I've lived in Missouri, but I wasn't in that area there. I was in North Missouri. And this one says, former Poplar Bluff officer sentenced to 25 years for producing child porn. And this came out on February 9th, 2021. Let me get a drink, folks. Okay, so there's this ugly face right there. Take a look at it. There he is. Another protection officer, well trained, I might add. Let's find out what he did. A former police officer was sentenced to 25 years for producing, not even like downloading, he's making it, which is worse than downloading it and processing it. Processing. Hey, another word I'm screwing up. You got that, Coaster Q? Another word I'm screwing up. Possessing. Brendan M. Hopper, 40, out Poplar Bluff, pleaded guilty in October to one count of sexual exploitation of a minor. Now, get this, what he was doing. This is disgusting. According to a release from the Office of the U.S. Attorney of Eastern District of Missouri, Hopper's co-defendant, Amber M. Longhibler, used a cell phone. Oh, my God, this is probably her kid, no less. Used a cell phone to take sexually explicit images of an 11-year-old girl. Longhibler was sentenced. Oh, here's her face right there. Take a good look at that one. Is that the motherly instinct at work again? Hopper was ordered after serving a 25-year sentence. She was sentenced to 20 years in prison for her role. Hopper was ordered after serving 25-year sentence to be placed on supervised release for the rest of his life. He will also be required to register as a sex offender. This case was investigated by Missouri State Highway Patrol and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, blah, 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 blah. And that's the story there. I'll put that link in the description. You can go read the story yourself, but this is, I got to tell you, folks, I've encouraged you many times before to Google, just go on your computer. Don't do it on your phone. Do it on the computer and just Google officer arrested, officer charged, officer sentenced. And then go back and do the same thing. Say cop charged, cop sentenced, cop arrested. And see what comes. It just goes, the pages just come out. And you might have to scroll back a couple pages. I usually go back like 10, 12 pages to find stuff because some of the less popular stuff doesn't show up in the initial search. And you really start to get a feel as to what goes on all the time in the police community. And the big one that now I'm starting to see that's emerging to be the most popular one that's coming up all the time is child pornography and being preying on young children. That is the ongoing, growing problem with police. I don't know what it is about them that makes them get their nut off on this. And what gets me even more is they're not too smart. I mean, you're downloading this stuff and then you're going to keep it on your computer in your house? Don't they get it that the FBI can watch your IP address to see what you're doing? You're going into a chat room that's targeting child pornography, which in my opinion is probably being set up by the FBI to begin with. It's like they're throwing bait out there on a hook and see what they can catch, and you're going in there and then you download, and the minute you download it, they've got you for possession of child porn. It's just like the level of intelligence in the policing community one has to question it, because every time I read these stories, I'm like, duh, boy, they're stupid. They're really stupid. And he's just thrown his whole life away. He's thrown the best career you have away, all because he was thinking with the little head. And I'm going to tell you guys again, when you figure the little head's needs into the equation, you are not going to have a good outcome. The odds are going to be against you. It's not going to be good. And if you're doing something that you know is unlawful or morally not right, never mind the unlawful part, not morally right to do, and everybody knows what's right and wrong. You're born with those skills. Just that some people ignore it and let their urges take over. And then I'll finish up the story. I'm still waiting to find out what's going on with our star child predator here in Monmouth County, former police sergeant, Howell Township Police Sergeant Richard Conte, who was arrested over a year ago, was caught in a sting operation, thought he was going to meet up with a 15-year-old girl to have sex. It was his own gang members waiting for him. He got caught. He had condoms in his pocket. He was ready to have a party with her, and he got busted. Chief Kudrigo did the right thing and fired him almost immediately, but it stops there. Nobody wants to talk about what's going on with that case, though other cases in that sting operation have been sentenced and sent to prison. We're not talking, nobody's talking. The state prosecutors, or the Office of the Attorney General here in New Jersey, is overseas prosecuting the case. They will not talk about it. I've posted on their postings a gazillion times. What is the status? What is the status? They won't talk. I've gone after Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office. They just point fingers, say we're not prosecuting. But regardless, they still know what's going on. I've even poked at Chief Kudrigo or Howell Township. What's the status on it? They won't talk. So again, you get a bad cop, a bad protection officer. He gets charged. And it's beginning to look like nothing's going to happen to this guy, and they protect him. By not talking, they are protecting him. Then they can at least say, you know what, the case is still in limbo. We're still waiting to have a trial date to fight this or whatever. They just won't. They just ignore it and think that you'll go away. And I got news for you, State Attorney's Office and Monmouth County and Chief Kiddie. I'm not letting this go with Conte. Conte needs to be sent to jail, period. He needs to be put down as a child predator. He's not, none of this bullshit. He's going to take a lesser charge, and then he'll wait a few years and get it expunged, and he'll ride off into the sunset. No. He needs to go to jail, just like the rest of these bad Blue Zero Hero protection officer turds. They all need to go to jail, and and the system needs to stop giving them sweetheart deals, because that's what's going on. It's a whole big sham what they're doing. Oh, we're not going to tolerate it. And then they arrest them here in Monmouth County or New Jersey, and then they give them a sweetheart deal, and nothing happens. All right, the links will be in the description. You can go read it if you want. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Like, share, subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Gunnison Undercover. I post a lot of stuff there that I don't necessarily cover here on the videos. The videos take time to make. Sometimes I just want to put the story out there. I don't really want to talk about it. But the stuff is there, and if you have a story you want to tell me about, or you found something that's of interest, get me on Facebook on Gunnison Uncover and send me a message through the messenger. One of the reasons I like it that way, because it comes through your Facebook, and I can know who you are. You're not just sending me some crazy stuff. And also, people out there, I know some of you out there have sent me things that you're having problems, legal problems, and as much as I want to help you, I really can't help you in your legal directions. If you want to make a video about something's happening to you and you want to give it to me and I look it over, I could post it for you. But, for the most part, unsubstantiated allegations I cannot go along with, because I don't want problems. Till next time, people.